Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start on the last section of macroeconomics, where we deal with what's called the foreign exchange market. And so we're going to be talking a lot about currency and their values and how it influences the decision making of countries. So the first thing I'm going to have you do here is calculate how much one currency is worth compared to another here. So we got an example behind us, and I'm going to explain first the chart. Now you have a paper that looks very similar to this chart, but it's not identical. But it works the same way regardless of the numbers. So here's what I have. When you go to another country, you have to turn your dollars into their dollars. In essence, you are purchasing their money. You're buying it, just like you could buy a ham sandwich. But instead of getting a sandwich in return, you're getting their money. So when you go to Canada, you give up your American dollars, you get their dollars. You go to Europe, you get the euro, or Britain, you get the pound. Or if you go to Israel, you get the shekel. All right, why not? So here's the deal. I had the cost of the shekel in US dollars. So if you have 26 cents, this is actually today. I put May just because it matches up with your paper, but this is actually what it's worth today. You can take 26 cents or a quarter and a penny, and you can get yourself one Israeli shekel. We'll worry about this number later. I made that up. We have no idea what it does. Doesn't matter, but it's going to help us solve the problem. So now we want to know how many US dollars is it going to take to buy 100 shekels of falafel. Now, if you're in Israel, why not buy some falafel? So here's how you do it. You can read the instructions, or I can show you a little bit more detailed way. But basically, you're going to set up a proportion here. So I'm going to say $0.26, okay, is going to be equivalent to 1 shekel. All right? And now I want to know how much 100 shekels is worth, essentially. So I go 100 shekels and put X here. So these two numbers are equivalent. 26 cents and 1 shekel are the same. So now 100 shekels here, I want to know what the US dollar equivalence is. So these will end up being the same when I solve for X. 100 go like so. 100 times 26, you get 26 shekels. Simple enough. All right. It doesn't matter how you arrange this formula, really. If you could put shekels on the top if you wanted to, it wouldn't matter. But this works out pretty nicely and pretty easily. Take a second here. Now, let's imagine that some time elapses, and we'll say it's August now, and all of a sudden, shekels, or 26 cents doesn't get you a shekel. Now you need 40 cents to get that same shekel. Can you answer the question here? I'll step out of the way for a second, pause the video, see if you can figure it out, and then I'll come in and show you how it's done. And I'm back. Okay? So here, all we got to do is switch some numbers around. Really, I wrote 26 shekels. It should have been $26. My apologies. So really, all I have to do is change my 26 to 40 cents now. All right? And I cross multiply again, and I get $40. If you notice, it has become more expensive for me to buy falafel as an American using American dollars. So what has happened to the US dollar here? It has, anybody? Anybody? There's a word for it. We call this depreciation. Okay? The US dollar depreciated. And this kind of messes with kids a little bit because they think, well, you know, the 40 is bigger than the 26, so that's not depreciating. Depreciating is like weakening. Wait a second. So now, to buy the same stuff, you need more of your dollars. That means that your dollars must not be worth as much as they used to be. So this is depreciation. What has happened, though, is the shekel. What has happened to that shekel? It used to be only 26 cents, a little piddling 26 cents. But now, it's a full 40 cents. Almost
twice as expensive. That shekel has gotten stronger, and so what we say is the shekel has not depreciated, but it has appreciated. So the shekel equals appreciated. Now, we'll talk about the consequences of that a little bit later next week, but this is how you figure this out. There are pluses and minuses to appreciation and depreciation, which we will get into again next week. Now, I'm going to show you a little different way. Instead of looking at the cost of the foreign currency in the dollar, I'm going to switch it and show you the dollar in foreign currency, and we can solve it that way too. We should technically get the same answer. I hope we do. So check out the next video.